Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to Opposition Outcome. Welcome to Fulsham Iron. I am Gatesy, your host, and I'm very lucky enough to be joined by Douglas. I always get this bit wrong. I'm getting there because I always go to point that way, and then it's like, no, it's over there. Douglas, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. It's been a bit chilly in Edinburgh today, so hence why I'm wearing a fleece. And the only one I could find was a blue one. But as you can probably tell, I am feeling a little bit blue after the result yesterday. But I have to say, fair play to West Ham, deserved their victory.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you being so magnanimous, I think is the word, which is quite a long word for me. I normally like to keep it sort of small and condensed. Before we get into it, don't forget, guys, to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel, and please also consider subscribing to the Dugout Football channel on YouTube, and also you can hook up with Douglas on Twitter and Instagram should that be your cup of Tetley. This will all be in the description below YouTube and Facebook for your information purposes. So let's get down to it. So it was an enthralling game of football, Douglas, wasn't it? It has to be said. It was not short on incidents. A 5-goal thriller. It could have been even in the last minute. It was still finally in the balance. You know, there was the chance for Mane in the last, and I got to be honest, I was like, no. But yeah, we saw it out, and obviously I'm speaking as a West Ham fan. I mean, I was absolutely ecstatic, but obviously, you know, every coin has another side, and that's what you're here to obviously give the Liverpool angle on things. So first things first, when the teams were announced, what were your thoughts? I guess you probably, as far as the system was concerned, it was exactly what you thought, because it's a tried and tested system that you guys have employed. So that probably wasn't a shock. But were there any thoughts you had on the starting personnel that Jurgen Klopp deployed yesterday?
I think the only one I could really think of was probably Robertson for Simicast. I thought, obviously we did the preview, and I said to you that I thought it might be Simicast and for Robertson, and then it was nice to see Ox get a start. Obviously, Ox doesn't really get many starts in the Premier League, so it was nice to see him get a start. And I think it was sensible to give Ox a start, because obviously he had Thiago coming back from injury as well, and you know he's not really up to the pace of the Premier League yet. So I think the starting 11 was actually pretty good.
That's fair. Do you was there anything in Andy Robertson's performance? Because obviously, as you said, that Tsimikas was a player that going into this you had been quite well impressed with. When you obviously saw that it was Andy Robertson, was that there was no reservation in your mind? You were quite comfortable with that? Yeah,
absolutely. I think people are forgetting that Andy Robertson has been a fantastic player for us throughout the years that he's been with us, and I do feel that his form this season has not been up to what we usually expect it to be. And I think Simicast being there has actually tried to make Robertson a better player as well. But obviously we have seen from this game in particular that Robertson didn't have a very, very good game either. And, you know, now question marks are being said after the international break. Is it Simicast ahead of Robertson? And at this moment in time, you could probably say that Simicast probably deserves a start over Robertson. But I'm not going to criticise Robertson, because he's obviously, you know, he's a Scotland captain, so he'll probably be playing for us this week against Moldova, which is a big game, which I know about anyway. And yeah, I just don't think. Robertson will come of good this season, I think. I just feel he may need a little bit of time out of the team.
That's fair enough. Okay, so we go to the first key moment of the match. 4 minutes in, a corner from Pablo Fornals whips it into the penalty box, and Angelo Ogbonna rises at the near post, and Alisson is sort of like in close proximity. From where I was sitting, I wasn't sure exactly what happened. I mean, I'm up in the gods, so I've got no chance of making out what the hell happened. But the end result was the ball nestled in the back of the Liverpool net, and obviously I'm cheering, I'm sort of jumping up and down, and it quickly became apparent that VAR was having a look at things, and the first thing that they checked for was whether there was a foul on the goalkeeper. That was quickly looked at, and so no, that's fine. And then they looked for a possible handball. Again, that was nothing to see here, and the goal stood. Obviously, I've seen it since on footage and all the rest of it, as I'm sure you have. But what was your perspective on that particular incident? Was it a foul on the goalkeeper, first of all? And secondly, was there a handball as far as you could make out?
I thought he just misjudged the flight of the ball, if I'm being honest with you. I thought the way that the ball comes in, look, I don't think it's a foul. I don't think it's a foul with Ogbonna, and I don't think Antonio does anything wrong either. I just think he's misjudged the flight of the ball, and he's come to sort of punch it, and unfortunately, obviously, it goes off his hand into the back of the net. But at the time I was watching it, I thought no foul for me. I think he just completely misjudged it. I'm surprised VAR actually was looking at that. But I thought at the time, I just thought he misjudged the flight of the ball. I think the thing is, like, if it's a foul on if it's a foul anywhere on the pitch, then obviously it is a foul. But you can understand where we were really, really angry about that. But for me, it's not a foul, because I don't think Ogbonna's actually done anything wrong. He's jumped up. I mean, this is the argument. Where are you supposed to put your arms if you're going to jump up for a header? Yeah. It's just a ludicrous rule to do that. We did have a goal similar chopped off against Manchester United when Van Dijk jumped up for a ball. De Gea completely misses it, and we actually had a goal ruled out. So, if that one's disallowed, then we just want a bit of consistency. But for me, it wasn't a foul, and I thought Ogbonna actually did the right thing and actually jumped up. I just think Alisson misjudged it, the flight of the ball. So for me, there's no foul.
So the goal was good in your eyes. That's fine, no problem.
Yeah, 100%.
The next key moment in the match, and again, from where I was sat, I looked from my perspective. I looked and went, "Oh, what's happened there?" The challenge by Aaron Cresswell on Jordan Henderson. Again, I've seen it on footage since. What was your take on that particular incident? Red card or no red card, in your opinion?
This is a hard one for me, because at the time of the tackle, I was like, "Ooh!" I didn't know what was what the card was going to be, and obviously it wasn't a card. I mean, Paul Pogba was sent off for something similar like that against us. I think Mason Holgate was sent off for a challenge on the Tottenham player. The name goes from me anyway. I think he was lucky, but I think it was more reckless rather than dangerous. I know where Jamie Carragher's coming from with the endangering an opponent, but for me, I just felt that was a yellow at most. I don't think it's a red, because I think he wins the ball. It's just the follow through that's gone into Jordan Henderson. So I think you're looking at that. I think it is probably, in the end, I think it's an orange card. I think you could argue it's a yellow, but you could probably argue it's probably a red as well. So I think it's coming into that category of an orange card for me.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I thought at the time, I did think it was a strong challenge, but from my distance, there was no way I could tell whether it was fair or foul. The only thing that I sort of thought in mitigation was, if it had been a really naughty challenge, I felt that the Liverpool players around Henderson at the time would have really been like, as soon as the challenge went in, they'd have been up in arms and screaming and gesticulating at the ref. And there was absolutely none of that. So I sort of looked at that afterwards and thought, well, that possibly might have been a bit of a clue. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, I think Cresswell he's a Scouser born and bred, isn't he? So I think he's good mates with Jordan Henderson. I think he's good mates with Trent as well. So I think he was a wee bit fortunate. But I am going to say this again. I didn't think it was a red, but as I have just said, I do think that kind of challenge is sort of going towards the orange.
It's open to interpretation, I think, isn't it? I think there'll be some
100%.
referees that will give a red, like you say. Some referees will give the a yellow card, and as happened yesterday, there'll be some referees that will go, nothing to see here. And that's the thing, a game of football. I mean, referees and match officials fundamentally are not machines. They're not robots. They're going to interpret things their own way within the confines of the laws of the game, if you will. So what one referee will decide is a foul in one situation, the exact same foul will unfold in another match, and the referee will say play on. So I know we all say, and this is something I agree with you said earlier about the consistency thing, but then we have to try and realize that, like I say, we're dealing with human beings, and no two people look at the same situation in the same way, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. We then move on to another incident that took place a little bit later on with Angelo Ogbonna in the 21st minute. Was it an elbow by Diogo Jota on causing the head injury that basically resulted in him going off?
It was a very naughty one. I think he was lucky. I think he knows what he's doing as well. I think there was another one where he kind of I think he jumps into him. He completely knows what he's doing. I think he is a bit fortunate. On another day, you'd probably say maybe a yellow or a red was probably going to be the one there. But I thought Jota was lucky, definitely lucky.
Another one in the orange card category.
I would argue, yes.
Fair enough. We get then to the 41st minute, free kick given on the edge of the box, and Trent bends it into the top corner to equalise, and magnificent free kick. I've seen it on. I mean, obviously, I saw it at the stadium in real time. I'm basically in line with the corner flag that was to Trent's left hand side as he shaped up to hit that free kick, and so I'm looking right down at it, and he's hit it. I did question whether the players in the wall could have got out to him and closed him down a bit quicker, but maybe I'm being a little bit fussy at my own players. But it's a magnificently struck free kick, in fairness. When that went in, were you thinking, here we go, this is the Liverpool fight back now?
First of all, I think you've summed up perfectly. It's an absolutely stunning strike. I mean, it's not the first one he's done either. He's done a lot of these free kicks where he's either bent them in or he's this one is just absolutely perfect. He's like, it's bending, it's dipping just under the crossbar. There's no chance for Fabianski in the goal. Yes, I did actually. I thought after that, we were going to come back into the game, but unfortunately, we obviously go on and see that wasn't to be the case. But cracking free kick, and I think Trent Alexander-Arnold. We obviously picked him out in the preview. I think he is just so good. Yes, people can say he's not the best defensively, but offensively, there's nobody like him. I think like goals, assists. It's just that was his first goal of the season as well. I was quite surprised to read that. I was very, very surprised to read that was his first goal of the season. But it is an absolutely stunning free kick.
Yeah, it was a great way to open your account for the season. I've got to say, it was beautifully struck. Dare I probably shouldn't say Beckham-esque. I really shouldn't say that to a Liverpool fan, but you know the point I'm trying to make. He hit it. Like you said, it bent, it dipped, Fabianski didn't really move. He was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Nestled in the back of the net and taking my West Ham specs off. It was a beautiful free kick, really was. But we then move into the second half. There's obviously chances or half chances for both teams. Liverpool started to get a little bit of dominance in terms of possession, in terms of general control on the game, but we had a chance in the 5th minute of the second half where Craig Dawson hits a header onto the top of the crossbar. But we then get into the 67th minute and Jared Bowen from a counter attack charges forwards and then lays off a beautiful ball to Pablo Fornals, sprints forward to the penalty box and unleashes a shot which I have to say, and I used to play in goal, Alisson, my goodness, and I think he's been a brilliant servant for you so far, but what on earth was he doing? He should have stopped that, shouldn't he?
I have to say that I think Alisson's had one of his poorer games in the Liverpool shirt. I think that's probably one of his worst games in a Liverpool shirt. Just to go back on the header, I think that was Declan Rice. If I remember rightly, I think it was Declan Rice that was it. Craig Dawson.
Craig Dawson in the 50th minute. Yeah,
that's funny. I swear it was Declan Rice, but there we go. But yeah, it's a very good finish. But the one problem I have with that goal is that you've got Robertson, Fabinho, and I think there was another one. There was another player as well, Matip, I think.
Yep.
Just take a yellow card for the team. Take a yellow card for the team.
Yeah.
A cool foul like that. Look, it's very, very disappointing to lose that goal. But yeah, I think Alisson should do a lot better. It's not the cleanest of strikes from Pablo Fornals. Look, Pablo Fornals, I thought his deliveries into the box yesterday were absolutely on the money, and I think Bowen's as well. We'll obviously come into the third goal shortly, but I thought you took advantage of our vulnerability at set pieces, and obviously, pace of Bowen, pace of Fornals. I think it really, really tested us yesterday. And yes, it's not the cleanest of strikes from Fornals, but yeah, Alisson, I don't know why he's come out so far. If he stays in his goal, then obviously it's given Fornals another chance of maybe going a little bit closer towards him. But it was definitely a goalkeeping howler, I'm afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. We then move forward into the 74th minute and another set piece. This time it's a corner and the ball's whipped in by Jared Bowen to the back stick, and sneaking in there is Kurt Zouma, who up to this point hadn't opened his scoring account for West Ham. Well, he did it there from a tight angle. Again, question marks over whether Alisson could have done better with that. Maybe not. I suppose it depends upon your point of view. But what was your point of view on the goal?
Poor defending. But as I've said, your balls into the box were on the money yesterday. Fornals, Bowen. Actually, I can't actually remember us defending a set piece yesterday. All the set pieces were very, very good, and obviously all led to chances. This one is poor defending. Sadio Mane completely lets Kurt Zouma run away from him, and Trent's gone walkies as well, but it's a very good header. Again, you could answer question marks about Alisson and that as well, but I just think it's a very good header from Zouma. I think it is a very, very good header, and but yeah, I think we've seen why Sadio Mane is an attacker and not a defender, because he just lets his man run, away, and it was a very, very good finish. And big up to Kurt Zouma. I think that's an absolute bargain for you guys. 35 million from Chelsea. I think that's an absolute bargain, and he hasn't looked out of place in a West Ham shirt either. And I think having him and Albona at the back, I think has proved a very, very good partnership. And to be fair, Craig Dawson as well, when he came on yesterday, although he had a good game as well. So I think you've got a very, very good player on your hands there. But yeah, very, very poor defending, very unlike us as well.
Yeah, Absolutely. 2 minutes after the goal, Jurgen Klopp made a change. Now, we spoke about this guy because Divock
Yeah.
Origi was a player that obviously in the summer was linked to coming to London Stadium. Obviously, it was a move that never happened, hence why he came on for you guys as a sub for Diogo Jota 2 minutes after the goal. We then move into the 83rd minute. Wouldn't you know it? We've been linked with this player, and he goes and scores against us. He's got his back to goal. He swivels round and takes a touch, fires it in the bottom right corner. And I got to be honest, I'm sitting there thinking 7 minutes to go. We've only got a 1-goal advantage. Oh, this game's not over yet. Again, what was your reaction when the ball hit the back of the net?
Relief is probably another thing, but it's a cracking finish from Origi. To be fair, he's turned, he's swiveled, and he's hit it with his left foot, and Fabianski's just dumbfounded again. Like I don't think he's got any chance. I think it's just the power that's obviously beating him as well. And then I'm like, yes, come on, we can basically get another one to grab an unlikely point, because I have obviously known about West Ham letting Leeds slip, I think, as well.
Yeah,
so
has been known.
So I did think that might be happening again, but unfortunately not. But you have to say it's a cracking finish from Origi. And actually, to be fair, I thought Origi had a good game when he came on. People say he looks disinterested. Not yesterday. He was actually going at West Ham as well, and then obviously Taki comes on. Doesn't really make an impact anyway, but a very, very good finish from Divock.
And then we get into stoppage time, and there was possibly going to be a twist in the tail when Alexander-Arnold chipped a free kick into the penalty box. Sadio Mane at the far post gets his head to the ball, and I'm like, no! Put it inches wide of the post. I mean, I dare say your heart was in your mouth at that point.
It was. I just couldn't believe he missed it. Free header. He's got to score. I don't think you'd have to say. I don't think Fabianski's getting down there either. As well for that chance as well, but. It just kind of summed that. I thought after that moment, yeah, that's it. Game was gone after that. But I think we kind of lost it in the second half, because, to be fair, I didn't think we had a very good second half. There was only one opportunity I think we had with Mane, was the save from Fabianski. I think that was our only shot on goal in the entire second half. Obviously, apart from Origi's goal, and then obviously the Mane miss. Yeah, it was a shocking miss actually. Free header, 6 yards out, has to do better. But I think if we had got that, I would have probably said at the end it would probably be unjust on West Ham, because I think West Ham were the better team throughout that game. So I think had we got that, I think we would have been very, very lucky to have escaped the point.
Fair enough. We obviously the final whistle goes. We win the game 3-2. In your opinion, who was the standout player from each team?
Ooh, I'm going to give the man of the match for West Ham to Pablo Fornals. I think he was a constant threat for us. And as we all said, obviously, his corner led to the first goal. And I think obviously got the goal as well. And he's just his all-round play yesterday. He's a very, very good player, Pablo Fornals. I remember when he came from, was it Villarreal? Was it Villarreal you guys got him from? When he came from Villarreal, I thought he was a very, very good signing when you got him. He's got his football onto another level this season. I think he's doing very, very well on that left-hand side as well. I thought Ben Rama had a very, very good game. Antonio, that was a good battle between him and Van Dijk, and obviously Matip. But for me, I think just for his all-round play, obviously assist, goal, has to be Pablo Fornals for West Ham. For us, it's a very tricky one. I'll probably give it to Alexander-Arnold. I think he was probably the best of the defence. I think Van Dijk and Matip had... Well, Van Dijk I thought was okay. Matip had one of those games where he kind of saves us at points, but there's some times where he'll just go missing. And you look at the second goal yesterday. I think that one of them, Robertson, Fabinho, or Matip, just put in a challenge as well. But I'll go Trent Alexander-Arnold because that free kick was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I'd completely agree. I'd just be interested, before I move on to the last question, your opinion, because obviously you've been quite glowing in your praise of Pablo Fornals. There's still some West Ham fans that still don't think that he's that good a player, and some people actually don't think he should be in the first team. I think their numbers have dwindled a little bit this season, but certainly sort of last season there was a few murmurings from certain people I know that said that they didn't feel he was good enough. You obviously disagree with that. Yeah,
100%. I think he's a player on his day that he can be very, very good. There's been some games where he has disappeared, but you have to say this season he's adding goals to his game and he's adding assists to his game. I think he's been very, very good. And on that left-hand side, he is an absolute danger. Obviously you've obviously got Ben Rama as well, who I thought had a very, very good game. You've got a very, very good side there. I would argue this is probably the best West Ham side I've seen in the Premier League. I'd have to go all on and say that.
Do you know what? I'm going to agree with that statement, and I've said it that some people say that the team that finished fifth under Harry Redknapp, which then later went on to win the Intertoto Cup, the following season was the best in up to this point. And I've turned around and said I think that is the best. That team had the best individuals. You had Paolo Di Canio, you had Michael Carrick, you had Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, etc., etc. They weren't, some of them weren't at their peak, and some of them were past their peak. Trevor Sinclair's another one just to throw in there. But in terms of the individuals, that was probably the best team that, in my opinion, we've had in the Premier League era. But this team, I think, is the best team. It might not be man for man as good as that team, but I think that this is a team, and I've said it on other videos where I've said this is a team that's greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, I would have to go on with that. I think, by God, you look at last season and West Ham deserved to get sixth. They were absolutely fantastic. There was a time where you thought, maybe David Moyes is maybe going to get Champions League football. You're a big, big danger to top four now. You look at the teams like Manchester United are not in very, very good form. You got Arsenal up there, you got Tottenham, but I just think this season alone, if you can make your home form a fortress, if you can get points on the road, West Ham are a big, big danger for that top four place. I actually think it could go down to the wire if you keep your best players fit. If you have a good run in the Europa League, I honestly say that I think West Ham could actually challenge for top four this season. And I don't know what you think about that, but I honestly think West Ham have a very, very good opportunity to get top four this season.
Well, I mean, if we look at last season, as you say, we finished sixth. It was actually 3 points we were off of a Champions League place. And I look at it and I go, well, the injury to Declan Rice, the injury to Angelo Ogbonna, the periods of time out that Antonio had, that was enough. I mean, if we hadn't have had them out for the period of time that they were, we'd have got that 3 points, I believe, fairly handily. So we'd have had Champions League football. And I've said to people, don't be surprised if we play Champions League football next season. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what I'm saying is that if it happened, I don't think I could sit there and go, that's a complete shock to me. It would be like, well, hang on a minute. We finished sixth last season and were 3 points off of doing it last season. So really it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be something that would come as a shock.
No, absolutely not. And you look at the teams that you've beaten this season. You've beaten us. You've beaten City. You've gone to Old Trafford and won as well. Yes, and obviously, well, you've gone to Villa and absolutely spanked them. You've beaten Tottenham. West Ham are a dangerous outfit, and keep Antonio fit, keep Benrahma fit, keep Fornals fit, keep Declan Rice fit. You've got a very, very good chance.
Last question I'm going to finish with, Douglas. Was there anything, and I appreciate I'm putting you in the manager's shoes now, and hindsight is always perfect vision, but do you believe there was anything that Jurgen Klopp could have done differently that would have resulted in a different outcome?
Maybe the introduction of Thiago, maybe at half time. I think Ox was tiring a little bit. I don't think it would have changed much in the essence of the game. Maybe get Origi on maybe for a quicker period as well. Then you might have said that we might have got something, but it's scant consolation that I can honestly say that I thought West Ham deserved their win. They were the better team. We were second best all through the pitch yesterday. You took advantage of our vulnerability from set pieces, and you also took advantage of pace on the counter. So I was very, very impressed with West Ham, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season.
Much appreciated, Douglas. And before I let you go, please give your YouTube and your social media platforms a plug for me.
Yeah, it is the Dugout Football channel on YouTube. My Instagram is Douglas.Horn. My Twitter handle is nrod_1992. Not going to bother doing the pointing because I always get it wrong. And I'm also on Facebook at Douglas James Horn, but not many people are on Facebook. So, but I really do appreciate you having me back on. And as I said, I do wish you guys the best of luck for the rest of the season.
And it's much appreciated. And guys, please do give him a look on YouTube, get his numbers up, give him a look on his social media platforms, and I'm sure we'll cross paths again soon, Douglas. And don't forget, guys, to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel. Before we go, Douglas, I've got to do my sign out. This is not me trying to take the mickey out of you and kick you when you're down. It's my usual sign out. Come on, you Irons.
Well done, you Hammers.